Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how great Toyota front axles are, then this is the podcast for you. And you. And you, and you over there, and you over there, and you in the back seat, and you in the really far back seat, and you, of course, too.
It's like, are you on a bus, or what are you doing here?
I'm on a bus.
A short one.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. Anyways, Jimothy Jet, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm good.
Nice.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Snail Trail 4x4 podcast.
Oh, yeah. Glad to be here.
Glad to be great. I'm glad you can grace everybody with your presence.
Oh, likewise.
You're glad you can grace everybody too?
No, I'm glad you could grace everybody.
No, nobody likes me around.
Presents.
Nobody. I don't give presents. Okay, that's not one of my love languages.
Next month you will.
We'll see about that. How good have you been this year, huh?
It's not Christmas yet.
Oh man. What is today? We got Monday episode, I think, right? Monday. This Monday's episode is gonna be a little different because we haven't recorded in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got to, verbal dump everything out that I was doing on the last Thursday episode. So now we get to listen to Jimmy's verbal dump.
Pretty much. Yep. Yeah, we do have.
Is that going to turn into a t-shirt? Can we have Brian Murphy turn that into a t-shirt?
Welcome to Snail Trail 4x4 podcast, the verbal dump.
The verbal dump podcast. Oh man. Anyways.
We need to start another new podcast.
A third one? That'd be so much fun.
Fourth or something.
Verbal dump. That's what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just rename the second one to verbal dump? It's kind of like that.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing graphic design options of a verbal dump.
My mind went someplace.
Probably right where Brian's and mine is going.
All three of us. Oh man. Anyways, yes, verbal dump, the other podcast. See if you guys can find it.
Yeah.
We still have people look. I think there was somebody. MF Sean was talking to somebody about it, and they said they went down like a 6-hour rabbit hole trying to find the other podcast. Still can't find it. I'm like, you're not looking hard enough, I guess.
I guess our aliases are working.
I know. Ooh, man, I'm glad we set that up.
Yeah, that works out well.
It does. Let's see, man. Monday episode, we're going to listen to Jimmy's verbal dump today. So before we get there, though, we got some fun stuff. Gemmery won last month's giveaway stuff, the gear wrench stuff. We have 2 gift boxes up this month. So we're going to have 2 wieners.
Yeah. Are we giving away those as well? The other ones?
Did we had 2 extras?
We do.
Yeah, I think so.
But we can't talk about them yet because we haven't released the box.
We have not released.
So we've got 2 boxes and 2 other surprises that go parallel with the box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I still haven't had any of mine, but I did have some out of Trail Hero.
Oh.
From Mr. Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, one of half of them. The half that was out there.
Right.
Yeah,
got it.
The wheeling half.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was amazing.
They are fantastic.
They were really good. And I think there's going to be a lot of gift boxers.
A lot of happy campers.
Yes. Yeah, there will be 2 gift boxes for winners. If you are in the gift box tier already and you end up winning this month's giveaway as well, congratulations. I wish I got 2 boxes this month. So
we might have enough leftovers.
Yeah, we'll see. I think people are I think there's going to be some people that are going to want to purchase these boxes with the leftovers.
Quite possible.
Anyways, we'll announce, I think, that on this Thursday's episode, either Thursday or Monday. There's Thursday or the following Monday here, a week from today, on what's actually in the gift boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yep.
I'm trying to get an interview scheduled for that company.
Oh, how's that going?
It seems to be harder and harder than I thought. Somebody might want to come on a podcast and promote your product.
Free of charge.
Doesn't seem to be too enticing to this company.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I ran into Greg from Premier Welders.
Oh, yeah?
Out of Trail Hero.
Okay. How's he doing?
He's doing good. I mean, he's busy. He's same thing, though. I was like, do you want to come on the podcast for a charge? I love your welder. I just want you to come on and talk about it. And he's like, I don't know if I have time. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Right. Marketing.
Right. It's amazing to me how many business owners in the off-road industry don't understand how marketing works.
Yeah. That or they're just so busy they don't need to market.
Maybe. I mean, kudos to you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to have, I guess.
Yep, I guess so.
So anyways, if we can get them on, that'd be great because they have a lot of new stuff coming out too.
They do.
That didn't quite make it here in time for the gift box.
Holiday stuff too.
But I'm super interested in getting a bunch just for myself for Christmas, like my Christmas present, because I'm going to return all the clothes I'm going to get and buy a bunch of those instead.
Perfect. I like it. Yeah. So hopefully we can get them on. Hopefully gift boxes are in the mail by now.
Mm-hmm, they should be.
They should be. Hopefully. Yes. Let's see.
Sean's getting fired if they're not.
Got it. Perfect. So. Our collaboration with the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey on this, they need to come and pick up their side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
wait, this is what we were collaborating with them on?
All the above.
Oh, somebody told me something about an OnlyFans that we were collaborating with them on.
Well, that's new news to me.
Gotcha.
That could still be true.
It could still be true.
But
I thought we were actually doing a collab over on Feet Finder.
Oh,
with us four.
I'm down.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's make that work.
Whose are the hairiest?
See if you can put, we're going to have a guessing game. Whose is whose? Anyways, I have some great ideas, Jimmy. Don't knock them.
Yeah. Once in a blue moon.
What are we talking about?
Well, we also have reviews going on.
Uh-huh. We do have some reviews.
Okay.
572 is what we're up to.
Nice. I like it. Not quite as far as I think we thought we were, but
not quite.
That means it's up to you out there to go out and leave another review.
Yes.
So that we can get up to that 600 mark to give away a swag pack.
I'm ready for swag packs.
Who was it? Dakota Carr?
Dakota Carr, I think, was the
last one.
He won a bunch of stuff like all in a row, didn't he?
He did. He won.
Cheater.
Did he win a gear winch stuff during that? Not gear winch, the Flex Power
Flex
Tools.
Tool. I think he won something during Flex Tool month. I want to say he won the next month giveaway.
And then he just won the
swag pack. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Dakota, you are a cheater. I don't know how you're doing it, but I know you're doing it. We're watching you.
I think it's a Range Rover thing.
Probably.
Or a Land Rover. Yeah. Whatever the difference is.
Enough about Land Rovers. We don't need any more of those on the show. We have some reviews here. So we're at 572 total.
Yep.
And here's a few that we're down to. Let's see. So this one's from Malik Lumpy.
What up, Malik?
Says, great content. Just found this great podcast. I've been missing out. Everybody is.
Yeah.
Everybody who's not listening is missing out. Missing out. Listening.
Well, Alec.
Missing out.
Malik, go tell your friends. Yes. Tell them to leave reviews so that anybody and everybody might have a chance to win some tires.
Mm-hmm. I think this one might be a made-up name.
No way.
Luisa Lorenzo. Do you think it's real or made up?
I think it's real.
You think it's real?
I do.
I think it's made up.
I think it's Lorenzo's sister.
Lorenzo's sister. It's very possible. I had a chance.
I heard.
An opportunity.
He's licking you.
He was licking me. It got a little awkward. Anyways, so it's Louisa says, love this podcast. I'm just getting started in the off-roading world and really, really enjoy this podcast. Cheers from San Diego. You think it's real?
I think it's real.
I think after reading it, it might be real. I apologize, Louisa.
Thank you, Louisa, for writing in.
Yes. This one's from Mundane.
This one's fake.
Totally fake. That's not a real name. It says, awesome podcast. The banter and the stories from these guys are great. Great tech about not only four-wheeling, but ham radios. Oh, look it. See?
Oh,
see?
Totally
People
fake.
Enjoy the ham radios, Jimmy.
It's fake.
Fuck off.
Nobody does. Nobody enjoys. You wrote this review.
I may have wrote this one.
You wanted to win some tires.
I need more tires in my life. I need 6 new tires now for my truck. The banter and stories from the guys are great.
Wait,
great
you putting 40s on the dually?
I was thinking about it.
Nice.
Yeah, then I can be like Tomater.
It's not red though.
It's not red. He has a brown one. A Trailmater. That's what I'm thinking of. Trailmater. Great tech about not only four-wheeling, but ham radios and essential gear too. Interesting interviews from off-roaders and industry leaders. Inspiration to build my truck into a more capable off-road rig. Thanks, fellas.
You got it.
Anytime. That's what we're here for. We're here to spend your money, help you spend it.
Kind of like the name Tow Raider.
Tow Raider?
Yeah, because it tows. That it tows.
The 350?
Yeah. So it's your Tow Raider.
Tow Raider?
Tow Raider.
What is Raider, though?
I don't know. Raider in the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Or it's Tow-Mater.
Raiders. Tow-Mater's already taken, isn't it?
I don't know. I like the name, though.
I don't know.
If it was red, it'd be perfect.
Then
it'd be a Tow-Mater.
What is a Tow-Mater? I don't even know what that is.
A tomato.
Oh, is that really tomato?
It's like a fun way to say tomato. A tomato.
Okay. No, I'm not going to name my truck after a fruit. Oh, now what? Are you going to argue it's not a fruit?
Also, like, look who's driving.
We don't need multiple fruits over there, okay, Jimmy? Jesus. I don't know what the name is for the truck yet. I was thinking about Tiny Tim.
That's not bad.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like irony.
It's like Big Mike.
Yeah, when he's not really big. No. Anyways, this one's from HB Max 07.
What up, Max?
It says, great podcast. Just found out about this podcast from a friend and have been listening daily. I do not live in California, but they make it seem like I should move there and buy a Toyota. I agree.
Yep.
Move to California and buy a Toyota. That's what everybody should be doing.
And I also want to say a big special thanks to your friend.
Yeah, I wonder if his or her friend was Malik.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Malik, did you tell HB Max? Anyways, next one is from...
you got another one.
We're going to do two more because these are the same person.
Oh,
they have to be. This first one is from Trail Bear with 2 exclamation points.
Okay.
Says, that'll work. Good commute listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trail Bear, 2 exclamations.
The next one is from Trail Bear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exclamation points.
Okay.
Says, that'll work. Good for commuting.
Thanks, Trail Bear, 7 exclamations.
Somebody's trying to work multiple entries for some tires.
Yeah. Now they're going to have to remember if Trail Bear 7 wins, if that's them.
Right? If it's Trail Bear or Trail Bear with 2 or 7.
Yeah, they're going to need, you need to know the login because we do ask you to prove that this is you.
Yep. So that'll do it for today. That gets us almost through the month of October 22.
Nice.
On reviews.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, guys. We're getting caught up. I promise.
That's super funny. So yeah, so if you guys are leaving reviews, that's great. Fantastic. Thank you. That's one of the best ways to grow the podcast. We are doing swag packs at 600, 650, 700. If we everybody that is entered has a chance to win one of those swag packs. And then at 750 reviews, we're giving away a set of tires from Yokohama.
Yeah, buddy. I just blew up a tire. I need some more tires.
Yeah. Pretty much anything but slicks, 20-inch rims, and apparently 40 MTs because the more flake people have bought them all.
Whoops. Yeah, they'll restock eventually.
Probably by the time the winter comes around, they're going to have more tires in stock. But yes.
Either that or we can buy them off the Caperas again. So,
yep. Sounds good.
Do you want to do a couple voicemails?
Yeah.
We have a couple.
Let's do some voicemails.
All right.
We got 2.
Dos voicemails.
Tomato.
Tomato. Uh-huh. All right. So the first voicemail in our lineup from today is from Zachary. Oh, it's a long one. Yeah, we'll see what Zach has. I'm not going to try and read all this and figure it out. We know a name, though. It's Zach.
Hey, Zach. Thanks for calling in. Let's hear what you say.
Here we go.
Hey, this is Zach. I'm calling to tell you all about my bear story since y'all talked about a bear story on Monday's episode. Like about a week prior to that episode and some change, I was making my way to Colorado. I stopped at Cimarron Canyon State Park in New Mexico. When I got to the site, the ranger let me know that, hey, they were having a bear problem. And, like, as he was talking to me, the guy went off to go shoot the bear with a rubber buckshot.
Jeez.
And they were telling me, like, it's getting closer. We might have to kill this bear. So fast forward to like the middle of the night. I hear some cars driving by because my tent's like right next to the road that goes to the canyon. I hear an accident occur outside my tent. Took me a second to wake up. Went out. Turns out they hit the bear.
Oh, jeez.
Bear was not seen or found anywhere, but there was a trail of fluid. I followed it, drove down a little ways, found the corner of their bumper, and then the people a few ways down. I gave them some like zip tie their 40-pound headlight onto their vehicle. They said they ran clear over the head of the bear. As far as I know, they never found that bear the next day. No birds were flying around, so we don't know if it died somewhere or if it's still alive and learned its lesson of coming around the campground. But yeah, that's my bear story. It was quite an experience and an interesting night that night. But yeah, well, have a good day. Y'all have fun and keep crawling.
So
that's insane.
That's pretty crazy. Before we get into that though, I was out at Trail Hero.
Okay.
And hanging out with Dolly and Eric.
Yeah.
The Hannahs. And I mentioned the bear story from Rubicon Springs.
Okay.
And Eric looked at me. He goes, "Oh, we have a bear story." I was like, "Oh, really? What's your bear story?" He goes, "Well, we were traveling through, I don't remember where he said they were at, but he goes, we were out and that we saw that there was a bear meetup somewhere."
Okay.
And we were like, what?
What, did all the bears like email each other?
Right. How do you get all these
together?
bears together? Right. And so they were very curious about this bear meetup, went by to check it out. And do you know what a bear, do you know what a bear is?
No.
A bear?
Well, I know, like, is it just no clothes?
It's heavy set older dudes. So if you're ever looking like in a personals ad space or like wherever you go to eHarmony or I don't know, if somebody says they're looking for a bear, they're looking for a heavy set older guy.
Interesting.
And so there was a bear meetup that Eric and Dolly ended up at with a bunch of heavy set older guys.
Oh man.
So now anytime somebody says bear, that's what I think about.
Oh,
so
geez.
I'm listening to Zach tell his story and he's
about a heavy set older guy that got ran over.
Yes, exactly. So that's what's going through my head. Anyways, now back to Zach's story.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's a crazy story.
So first off, I want to know 40-pound headlight. What the hell are you driving or what are they driving with a 40-pound headlight?
Yeah. It's got to be a big, thick glass thing.
Right. And I'm like, if it's a big, thick glass headlight, then it's on a big vehicle
old car
or a really old car, both.
Or he was exaggerating.
Which I'm taking him for his word though. Okay. In which case, if an old heavy car runs over a bear's head and the bear is not anywhere to be found afterwards, damn.
Bears' skulls are thick.
I didn't realize how thick a bear's skull is. That's crazy.
Yeah. They're super, super thick.
Yeah. Well, which bear are we talking about now?
Yeah,
Sorry.
both. That's why you bought that 9 mil.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got it for bear protection. I'm like,
no.
That's not going to do anything.
You know what's fucked
up? It's like
up?
a BB gun to a cat. Don't ask me how I know.
Okay. No, 9 mil just kind of bounce off their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like throwing a rock at a Jimmy. Ask me how I know. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's bears are freaking cool animals, man. There's an awesome podcast called Tooth and Claw that's about animal attacks. And they tell people's stories about animal attacks. There's a couple of one major wildlife biologist whose main job is to study bears. And they go over, did this person behave correctly in this animal attack? Cool. What could they have done differently? What can you do differently if you're ever in this situations? They do a lot of bear stuff because the dude is a bear biologist.
Got it. Yeah.
And they're such cool animals.
They are. They're pretty cool. They're fairly smart.
Mm-hmm.
And they're super strong.
Yeah, they're.
My likelihood of winning that fight is 0.
100. I still can't believe people are like, no, I could beat a bear in hand-to-hand combat. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So Zach said they were in Colorado, right?
I believe so. Yes.
So it's probably a black bear then, right? Brown bear
I believe
aren't that
so.
low.
I don't know.
Brown bear, I think typically, I want to say they stop and kind of like as you start approaching the southern edge of Montana.
I don't have an answer for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to listen to more Tooth and Claw.
Yep. Okay. So we got another phone call.
We do.
Yep. Another voicemail. Thank you for calling. We enjoy hearing stories and people asking questions. These is always fun.
Yep. This one's from Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Oh, it might be Brennan. Brandon Green?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out. Okay, let's see who we got. What do we got going on here?
What's up, guys? It's Brandon Green here. I got an 85 Toyota pickup, 488s, 35s. It sucks on the street. I live up a really steep hill. It's no bueno. It was great on 33s. And, well, here's the thing. Whenever we get to 750, whenever I win my tires, and since you guys ate up all the 40s, I'm going to need 37s. And here's the thing. There's a controversial topic. I feel like it'd be a good fun one. 571 gears. Now, I've been thinking about high pinion. Obviously, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think 571s are available for high pinion thirds. So not the end of the world. Maybe I just correct some driveline angles, other ways, getting it lower, whatever. Figured it'd be a fun one. It's really controversial online. A lot of people talk about how, the myth of the small pinion and breakage, and then you get other people swearing by them. Anyway, just wanted to see if you guys had any experience with it or has witnessed people blowing them up. You let me know. All right. You guys have fun. Talk to you later.
Good question. This is a hot topic, a debated thing in the Toyota world for sure. I don't know if 571s are available in high pinions. That's a good question.
I've never looked.
But we actually asked this question to Nitro Gear before they got ruined by Daystar.
Yes.
And Nitro, both Carl and one of their technicians, their engineers, said that it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, they said it was just as strong as 529s or 488s. The gearing ratio didn't matter because there was more engagement from the pinion on all the other teeth that were there.
Yeah, so it's essentially spreading out the load of the ring gear more because it's contacting more teeth at one given time.
Correct.
So because it spreads out the load, it offsets the smaller pinion size, is what we were told.
In reality?
Though? Yeah.
He said that and I still don't really believe it.
Right?
I know people that have broken 571s that don't break 529s.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems so high.
Yeah.
Right? It's just crazy. So I don't know. I mean, I think it is definitely a very good topic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll do some digging on it and try to find some more information. But
do you know anybody with a bunch of spare third members that we could throw some 571s into and do some testing?
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe. It might be fun to just, torque them out and see how much they break at or what they do. And just compare apples to apples kind of in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That could be kind of fun. But I don't know. I mean, direct from the horse's mouth from the owner of Nitro said it didn't matter, that they're just as strong as any of the other gears out there, is just as strong as stock.
Mm-hmm.
But sitting back in this couch, I'm like, that can't be. Like, it just does not seem like it could be.
Right. That doesn't make sense to me, but I'm also trying to I'm envisioning a pinion, right? Yeah, giggity. And don't look at me like that. I'm a child, Jimmy.
Okay, tomato.
Thank you. Anyways, I'm envisioning a pinion, and the pinion shaft, no matter what, stop it. I'm going to look over at the wall while I'm saying this. So the pinion shaft is going to be a smaller diameter than the pinion head in any of those applications, right?
Right.
So I'm like, the weak point in a pinion the whole time is going to be the shaft of the pinion. I mean, in theory, if it's true that you have as many teeth contacting all the time as.
I think usually what breaks is the teeth on the ring gear.
Yeah.
I think the vast majority of time that I see a broken ring and pinion It's the ring gear that's broken.
You know, that's true. I don't think I've ever seen a pinion snapped in Toyota applications before. It's always been the ring gear. And which is interesting because when I've talked with people about the 571 or even like the 673 gear ratios,
Yeah.
that everybody's like, no way, the pinion head starts getting too small. You're losing the strength in the pinion head. But
Right.
You're right. All Toyotas break ring gears, not the pinions.
At least on the lower end. I think the 571s that I saw were still broken on the ring side. I don't know if I've ever seen, besides like both of them breaking, right? Like the ring gear and the pinion break.
Catastrophic failure.
I don't think I've ever seen just the pinion break.
Yeah. I don't think I have either.
So I still think the teeth on the ring gear are just going to be super small.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter the amount of like the connection or the amount of, what do you want to call that? Where
interlocking
features that the pinion has with the ring gear, the teeth are just small. It doesn't overcome the thicker teeth.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good debate.
Yeah, for sure.
And we don't have an answer, unfortunately. No. I mean, there's, and I think that's sort of what you wanted in a way, is us kind of talking about it, but I would stop at 529s.
Yeah.
And leave it there. I rock 529s on Bobcat, and you did for many years on Kermit.
I still on Kermit on 529s.
Yeah, well, you got 10-inch diffs now.
10 and a half.
Yeah, 10 and a half.
Don't short me my half-inch, Jimmy.
I won't.
I need that half-inch.
And I romp around at street, on the streets just fine. It's pretty damn close to the exact ratio as stock with 37-inch tires and 529s. My speedometer is like barely off. So it's pretty much what it was stock. So if you're going up more, yeah, you'll get more torque, but you won't get more speed. You're going to lose speed.
Yep.
Oh, but you will help you get up that hill a little easier. But no 22 RE is going to get you up that hill that much easier, regardless of your ratio.
Yeah. Unless you get one of those hot rodded 22 REs.
Yeah, or turboed.
The turbo ones. Even then, I don't know if the turbo ones would be.
But they didn't come in an 85.
No.
And unless you're outside of California and you can put one in, because would be awesome. But yeah, I say do it and report back.
There we go. I like it.
Let us know.
Speaking of doing
after you win the tires from Yokohama.
Yeah. Speaking of doing it and reporting back.
Okay.
We have a piece of feedback in regards to our episode 432 Axle Talk.
Okay, good.
We were talking about, what was the guy's options for his front end axle setup in a second gen 4Runner.
The Duramax options.
And doing the Duramax front end.
Okay.
So Troy wrote in.
Okay.
And Troy said, I did the 9 1/4 IFS front diff and axle swap onto an S10 Blazer.
Oh,
which I think is the Duramax. That's the Duramax setup.
Okay, cool.
And then used Fox air shocks instead of the torsion bars. I found a truck that already had a lift kit and took that and notched it to fit the S10 frame.
I'm just trying to think. He put shocks instead of torsion bars. So I'm just trying to figure out how that all works. I mean, mechanically, so he changed the whole suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because torsion bars is a spring.
Yeah.
And he put an air shock instead, but torsion bars typically they're parallel to your frame, and the shock is probably going perpendicular. So he really had to do some custom work in there.
Yeah. It said essentially by notching the frame, I think that he notched it in order to fit the lower control arms, maybe no, that wouldn't make sense. He would to fit the air shock, essentially, Frenched in the air shock tower into the frame, maybe. Anyway, so he said going that route on the guy's 4Runner would be fairly easy to do, I would think. The problem with that, which I don't know if we brought up in the show, I think we may have brought it up and talked about it. I don't remember now. It says the problem with that is the diff on the Chevy IFS is driver drop.
Yeah.
So he would have to do a different transfer case setup.
Yeah. I know we talked about different transfer case sets up because I was talking about the lefty, and I said, doesn't anybody make the lefty anymore?
Yeah.
And I don't think I remembered what it was called at the time. I did a little research on that, and I believe, I forgot it. I think it was Marlin that made the lefty, and they stopped making.
Fuck, what's his name? Chris, magazine article guy.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his last name.
His last name. I'm just blanked all of a sudden. I literally just had it. Anyways,
Christofferson.
No, he actually made transfer case adapter cases at the same time or before Marlin was.
Yes.
Yeah. And so he said that he had a setup that was a lefty setup.
Okay.
I wonder if it was them in that company.
I don't.
Anyways.
No, Marlin or Trail Gear, I don't, and I'm pretty sure it was Marlin had a lefty.
Gotcha.
Version. And it was just the back half instead of it going driver's or passenger side, it went driver's side.
Gotcha.
And it, so, because it looks like you could just clock the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they more or less just made it the mirror image of it.
Yeah.
And so it bolted up the same way and all the gearing and everything went in the same way.
Huh.
And I'm pretty sure it was red too. So I'm pretty sure it was Marlin.
Okay.
But yeah, so it just went down the driver's side, but they don't make it anymore.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So if the Silverado is driver drop, then that would be more difficult for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's IFS,
then he just gets a 3rd gen 4Runner and then it fits up.
That would work. But that's cool. It's kind of neat to hear somebody that somewhat did that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he mention at all about how it's working or how it does?
Nope.
Okay.
Didn't say anything about that.
What, Troy, you need to write in again. Write Tyler and let us know how it's working. If you still have it, is it still running? What problems did you have? What did you have to overcome? And or is it perfect? One of the above.
The perfect, something you would never change about it.
Yeah.
Then.
Cool.
That's some of the feedback. We have one more piece of feedback, but it could be a whole episode. So we're going to save that one until we get closer to hammers.
Sounds good.
And let's hear about Jimmy's, what did we call it? Verbal dump.
Yeah.
Jimmy, it's time for your verbal dump.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay.
Well, I am now officially moved.
Yay. You're out of the old house and totally
out of the old house.
In your possession at all, right?
Nope, not at all.
Congratulations.
By the time this episode airs, we probably have the money.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
So are you getting an F-350 dually now?
Yes.
Okay.
After driving yours. Yeah. I wish. I don't know if I would. I think I would rather just grab that, your powertrain and throw it into Clifford.
Or just do a body swap with Clifford.
Yeah, that too. That'd be easier.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyways, yeah, the move was fairly well. I was complaining on a previous episode about how the assistant had like nothing packed. And she hustled the day before.
I was going to say, because I was 100% certain that coming back from the event show in Fairfield.
Yeah, the K1 and the carts and rigs. Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. I've never gotten to race go-karts before, like K1 racing.
Oh,
I've never done
those
it before.
Are a blast.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, coming back from that, I was like, I should be able to get to Jimmy's by round 1. They'll still be going because I know not a lot of stuff was packed.
Yeah.
And then I texted you guys, you're like, nope, everything's done. I was like, yeah, bullshit. You guys packed everything. And then I was like, okay, whatever. So then I talked with, I think I saw Hussman later. And I was like, how much did you guys have to end up packing into boxes for them? And he goes, nothing. It was all ready to go. And I was like, bullshit. They had 4 boxes done on Thursday.
Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
I think Thursday. Yeah.
So you guys got the whole house packed in like Friday, a day and a half, 2 days.
Friday, I did something at the shop during the day. And then I think I picked up, we didn't have the mini assistant. So I came home and my mom went and helped the assistant pack that day. So my mom and the assistant were packing. And sometime around 4 or 5, I ended up going back to the house and more or less relieved my mother so that she could go home. And the assistant and I packed until like 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And we were damn near everything packed.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I told the assistant, because I said at some point I was like, do you expect to fully pack this house in a day? And she's kind of like, yeah, there's not a lot of stuff. And I was like, I packed like 5 boxes and it took me a few hours.
Yeah.
And the thing was, she was also not only just throwing stuff into boxes, she was sorting it.
Wow.
She was pulling stuff out that she didn't want anymore. we had like 4 or 5 different types of piles. We had a pile that we were donating,
Okay.
like to Goodwill or whatever.
Mhm.
We had, she does this thing with some of her other mother friends that they call mom swap,
Okay.
but don't go there. It's more or less where you,
I didn't go there until you said don't go there.
it's where you,
How do I get in on this?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Sorry.
it's not a key party.
Okay.
They take a bunch of stuff from being like a mother for from their children
Mhm.
and take it to this one hall,
Mhm.
and everybody brings stuff, and then you more or less walk around and grab whatever you want, and you
Okay.
take stuff home with you. So it's a way to like, hey, my kids have outgrown this stuff.
Uh-huh.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
They're not selling it. It's just a bunch of, friends getting together, trading.
Okay.
More or less. So we had that. So we had the donation pile. We had the giveaway pile for the mom's swap. We had the e-waste pile.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we just had a garbage pile. And then we had all the stuff that we packed.
Wow.
And she sorted all that
Wow.
and packed almost everything.
Jeez.
Then I came home at 5 and I helped finish. I worked for like another 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only things that we didn't really pack was like some of the fragile items or decorative items,
Mhm.
like wall art or pictures or little knick-knacky things that were on the shelves that, we could easily grab and move the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she hustled. She did
Wow.
it for the most part. I'll give her the
that's
kudos.
impressive.
Kudos on that for sure.
Yeah.
We also weren't moving some of the larger items. The mini assistance bed was, we got her a new bed, and we got that delivered to the other house.
Uh-huh.
We got a new table and chairs. So the table and chairs that was at the house,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't need to move. We had friends coming to pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story about both of those. On the Thursday before the move, our table and chairs were supposed to be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
We got a phone call from the company that we bought it from, and they said, usually like a package or somebody's delivery gets lost.
Mhm.
Like every once in a while that happens.
Yeah.
This time, nobody's showed up for the Thursday delivery.
Nobody.
Every delivery that they were supposed to go out and do on Thursdays, none of them showed up in their shipment.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they'll like, we'll get back into contact with you once we figure it all out. So they said, okay, next Thursday, we're going to get a delivery.
Okay.
We got a phone call, like Wednesday, or maybe Tuesday or Wednesday,
Mhm.
I think, saying, yeah, so when you ordered that, and they told us this, when you ordered that, there was only one of them in stock.
Mm.
And we said we would call you if there was any issues, but nobody ever told us that there was an issue until today. And your tables is no longer available.
Wow.
And that's at the local warehouse,
Yeah.
right? It's still available. So they're ordering a table. It's supposed to be here in like 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
but they said we have a copy of it at another warehouse. It was the display model. We're going to ship that to you with the chairs that you ordered.
Okay.
So you can use that table for a few weeks, and then we'll take it back
Oh,
when
I
we
see.
bring you your real table.
Okay.
We're like, okay, fine. So we have a loaner table right now
Uh-huh.
and our chairs. The mini assistants,
Do you need some phallic stickers to stick underneath it?
maybe that would
Okay.
be funny. I have some, I think, in there. The mini assistants bed, we got her like this trundle bed. So the bed on top with a bit like a big pull out drawer underneath her bed that makes another bed.
Oh.
It's like very close quarters bunk beds.
Yeah.
But so the second bed, the below bed pulls out, and then so you can sleep side by side, but they're
Okay.
on different levels. So if she has a friend over,
Yeah.
they're sleeping right there.
Okay.
The face of the drawer for the pull out trundle bed had a huge crack across it,
Oh, geez.
and it was a third party seller on Amazon. And we
Mhm.
had a really hard time getting in contact with them.
No.
And then when we eventually did get in contact with them, they sent us a return label,
Mm-hmm.
and one return label. There was 2 boxes sent.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to send the box back that had
The crack.
the broken part.
board, Yeah.
And I noticed on the return label, it said it wasn't prepaid. It wasn't a prepaid. It said
Oh.
like, I must pay,
Yeah.
or whatever it's called. And so I called the assistant back and I said, figure out about this label, because this label, it says that we have to pay.
Yeah.
So she contacted Amazon. Amazon more or less said, yeah, that more or less means you can take it to any location and then it'll get, you can get it delivered. So you can take it to FedEx, UPS, USPS, whatever. And I said, okay.
All right.
So I took it to a UPS hub right by my house. And they're like, are you sure you want to ship this? It's probably going to China. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's Amazon. This is the label they gave me. And they're like, no, this is not prepaid. You're going to have to pay this. And I said, that's not what they said. And they were like, well, we don't have anybody else to bill. This thing doesn't give us a billing option. So
there's no account associated with it.
We can't ship it unless we bill you or, or somebody. And I was like, okay. So then I called the assistant back and I told her the problem. And I said, we need to ask for a prepaid shipping label. And she called Amazon back and told them the problem. And then Amazon actually started to get involved.
Okay.
And so Amazon said, hey, you have 72 hours or 48 hours or something like that to send your customer a prepaid label or other options. And within 24 hours, they sent us a message saying, hey, we can either send you another part or if you fix that, we'll refund you the shipping that we had to pay originally.
Yeah.
And we responded with, how long is it going to take to get another part? And they said 3 to 6 days.
Yeah.
And we haven't received it yet. And that's the option we went with. It's on its way to Stockton, supposedly, last time we saw. So we might be getting back in contact with somebody and saying, hey, you said 3 to 6 days. We have it right here saying you told us 3 to 6 days. It's not here yet.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, as a business owner, I know things can go sour in shipping. So anyway, so the mini assistant's been sleeping on a mattress on the floor and we're using a loaner table. But going back to the move, everything went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
We did have everything boxed up. It was a slightly rainy, drizzly day. So we rented a U-Haul, which we weren't really going to do in the first place. We're going to just throw stuff into trucks. But the U-Haul made it super easy. It was like $110 total, like after taxes and fees and mileage and everything.
Jeez.
And we rented some extra blankets and we rented a furniture dolly.
Yeah.
Included with the 20-foot truck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we almost everything fit in the truck. We could have fit more stuff in the truck. It was maybe like 3/4 full. But then it got down to like, where do we want to put the rakes and shovels and all the other like yard equipment. And, I think Hustle Nuts is like, well, just throw those in the back of my truck. And then people are like, where do you want to put this? I'll put it in the back of my truck, And I was like, there's room in here, because I was doing the Tetris thing inside the truck.
Yeah.
So it took us like an hour to load.
Okay.
And then there was a point at which it was like a half an hour of us just finding random stuff around the house. Like we can do this, we can move this. At one point because we weren't moving picture frames, that everybody had open seats in their vehicles. They're like, well, I can take 1 or 2 in my truck and I could take 1 or 2 in this vehicle. Yeah. So then they all went and grabbed a few and put them in their vehicles. And, and then there was some boxes like way up in the attic that we didn't care too much. Like we didn't need to move or didn't need them anytime. So we did that. So, and then unloading took a little bit more time, but it still was fairly fast because instead of everybody grabbing something and bringing it to the truck, now the truck, you have to deliver it to a specific location in the house.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a 2-story house.
Yeah.
And there was stuff in the garage that we wanted to move into the house
at the same time.
Okay. So it took a little longer, but we all got done fairly quickly. I think we were like eating lunch at 1.
And so you guys were either eating lunch or you were just finishing lunch or something when I texted and was like, hey, I'm on my way.
Yeah. I think we were just finishing lunch.
Yeah. Which is phenomenal timing. I thought for certain you guys would still be working.
My phone for some reason was not doing group messages. I sent you that picture. You remember of all the unread, unopened messages. Yeah. And so somebody's like, did you see Tyler's message? And I was like, no, I'm not getting messages right now. I don't know what's going on. And so they all responded for me, but yeah, we were done eating by the time you said you were on your way.
Yeah. That's pretty good. You guys did good.
Yeah. And then we spent the remaining of that day more or less setting up our bedroom and part of the kitchen.
Okay.
Because that was sort of our logic. I think we talked about that before, where it was like, we need the kitchen to eat and we need the bedroom to sleep. So those are the first 2 things that have to be set up.
Yeah.
And
you guys didn't want to go camping in the rooftop tent?
We could have, yeah. And we already had so much We had quite a bit of leftover pizza.
Okay.
And so we concentrated on the bedroom first because dinner was just leftover pizza.
Yeah.
So that worked out well. Also, my parents were super cool. They invited us over for dinner the next more or less 4 days in a row because they knew that the kitchen wasn't going to be ready to be cooked in so much and the house wasn't going to be ready. They wanted us to kind of focus on getting the house up and going and not worry about having to cook dinner for a few days. So that was really nice of them. At this point, the house is almost together, almost fully together. There's still a bunch of stuff and mainly my stuff in the garage that we just need to figure out what's going on with it. If we're keeping it or getting rid of it, one or the other. There's a lot of randomness in the garage that was left over from my bachelor pad that we just need to figure it out what we're going to end up doing with it. But the house is almost completely unpacked. There's the front room, which is like a whole extra room for us. Is still has a bunch of boxes and stuff in it, but we also don't have any furniture or anything to put in that room. And we have no real, like, besides our bar, there's not a whole point. There's the bar and the keyboard for the mini assistant who does piano. And there's paths to both of those. Otherwise, there's no real point to being in that room at this point in time. And then there's a bunch of books that need to be put on a bookshelf. And then otherwise, the house is functional and we're using it and working great.
That's what I did with my house when I moved in, was we threw everything in the front room there. And then just were like, all right, where's this? It's probably in the front room. Okay, we'll just go and get it, grab that box, go and unpack it in the rest of the house. And
a lot of it's, there's not a lot of stuff in that front room, but like a lot of the wall art and pictures and that stuff's in that front room that we just need to put up on the walls. And there's a few boxes in there, but they're designated to be in there. So one of them's like we have a record player and some records, and that's in that box, but it's for that room. And we just haven't set that room up yet. And then there's a lot of little knick-knacky smaller things that are in like boxes that are just shoved in that room that we don't know what we're going to do with them yet.
So the bar is set up.
Bar is set up.
I saw pictures.
More or less set up. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing's in any, there's 2 drawers and 2 like cabinets underneath. And there's like, everything's just on the bar right now. We haven't like, it's not, it's semi-organized because I did one shelf of the whiskey, bourbons and ryes, which covered like half of a shelf. And that's the bar top. So it's like 2 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
And then the next shelf up has all the other alcohols that we own. Like, with like vodkas, gins, rums, whatever, like all of them fit on another shelf on the top. It doesn't completely even fit it. And if I tried to put the whiskeys up there, I think it'd take like 2 of those shelves. And then the next shelf up, I think, has glassware, and the next one up has like random plasticware and some shakers and other stuff. But that we had to get that one ready for the most part. We did leave a bottle of whiskey at the other house for the times that we went back to do more work. We still have we could make little sippers of whiskey as we're working. So that was one of the last things we moved. But so we completely moved out of the other house, and it was, we were supposed to be out on the 10th. Like the 10th was our last day, right?
It's today, right?
That is the day of this recording. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That day that we are recording. Yes. Today. But we got a message from Open Door saying, hey, just a reminder that you're out on the 10th, which means you have to file all your paperwork and pictures and everything you need to do by midnight on the 9th.
Oh.
And I was like, and I thought I had an extra day. So I was like, oh, so yesterday I spent a chunk of time there, like dismantling some shelves and things that we want to take. We had this really big, at one point it used to be like an entertainment center, and then it got like cut down to be just a random desk and drawer thing out in the garage that was, held tools and stuff. We had it out on the street for free for like 4 days and nobody took it. So I went and took the Sawzall or a recip saw and cut it up and threw it in the back of Clifford and stuff. And so I spent a good chunk of day yesterday just finishing that house. And so that house is done and we don't have to worry about it. And money might be in the bank by now. I don't know.
Sweet.
We'll see. But
that's cool.
Yeah, I know that though they were setting up the wire transfer last night because I guess they reviewed everything.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's a big hurdle.
Yeah.
There's still a lot. So pretty much the whole week leading up to us moving, I was just loading stuff up out of the garage into Clifford or Charlotte, whatever truck I had. And so the shop still has a chunk of stuff in it as well.
Okay.
So Samantha build, like I was sort of hoping at this point, I'd be like, okay,
Now I get to switch focus.
now I get to switch focus. But yeah, not here we are, a week more or less later. And yeah, that's not happening anytime that soon as I expected.
Okay.
I might we're slowly cleaning out the garage at the new house. So I might slowly start bringing some of that stuff over to fill the space so that we can figure out what we're going to do with it. But it's not going to be super fast. So it'll be probably like a month. Let's be honest. It'll probably be at least in sometime in November that I will actually have the space cleaned up and start thinking about working on Samantha. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the axles. This is really what I need to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm really...
I think you should build some Super Tundra axles. Yeah.
Really what my dilemma is, I have, and I'm leaning this way because I already have it. I have Toyota e-lockers with 529s.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fact that I have to, if I break that third member, I have to have another e-locker to throw in its place. I can't necessarily throw in another 8-inch third member.
Yeah.
Because then I have a hole where the e-locker stuff happens. So I'm really considering selling those. If there's somebody out there nearby that wants to buy them, I might part with them and going with 529s, high pinion and a low pinion, 8-inch with an Eaton e-lockers because it's just everything's inside the third member. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And then it fell in. I was like, well, if I'm doing that, I might as well look at Land Cruiser axles. And then I was like, no. Even though I say yes,
axle.
I have a front axle housing.
Housing, I should say. Yeah,
I do. Yeah. I've also considered, and I don't know how possible it is, taking the knuckles off of that and putting it onto the mini truck housing.
I think you can do it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, I still think the ring and pinion is going to be the weak link.
Yeah,
over those Burfields. But anyways,
well, if you have a high pinion, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to stick with what I have unless somebody actually does hit me up in the next few weeks and says you want them, and we can talk about pricing because I have no idea what I'd even price those at. But they're brand new 529s, just installed e-lockers. Yeah, 8-inch e-lockers.
Each of those third members is $1,700.
Yeah,
1,800.
1,500 is what I was in my mind, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens. My goal is, or if you buy me,
if you buy Jimmy,
if you buy a high pinion Eaton e-locker with 529s and a low pinion Eaton e-locker, I'll just trade them with you, whatever, you know. As long as I can get my money, get enough money to buy those things, then I'm happy. Yeah. That's my goal. Yeah. So, Samantha's will be soon, but not quite yet. Okay. Though I did threaten that I was going to go over and work really late last night to get Bobcat running so I could come over here with Bobcat. Flex him out and test him out. And that didn't work. I got late at night and I was like, I don't really want to go outside. But also I have to go pick up panels. So I needed a vehicle.
Why isn't Bobcat running?
Yeah. So good question. Well, Bobcat.
I saw the poop shoot.
Yeah,
the poop shoot picture.
Yeah, exactly. Give me all the wrong answers, and probably out of all the wrong answers I received, the poop comment was about 80%.
Nice
of all the wrong answers that were given.
I think we know we know our target demographic really well, Jimmy.
Number one went to my buddy Saul. Yeah. All right, here you go for you to read since I can't read. Here's my buddy Saul's response.
Saul from Saul. The rotating coupler was not properly mated to the receptor joint. When this happens, the splines become misaligned, creating heat in the shaft housing, indicated by the gray color of the lube. If enough heat builds up, your ring bearings begin to deform, sending a cascade of failures from the ball end to the output shaft and bearing. Eventually, the mass damper starts to throb, cracking your ball housing and head compartment, leading to complete failure of the shaft coupling unit, along with a full release of thick lubricating fluid.
That's pretty friggin' imaginary. That's pretty right? Good. Yeah. Instead of somebody going, oh, they put it in the wrong hole. Like that response right there. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you like, I was like, I think I even said, are you serious? And he's like, no. Like, like I was like, he used to own a Subaru. So I think I eventually said, I thought this was a Subaru thing. And you're just sort of actually being serious about it.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, yeah, Bobcat has a inner axle seal in the front axle that got blown out or is leaking.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, all the gear oil, it's now mated with all that differential grease and making a nasty looking mess.
I've heard that called non-consensual meeting.
Yeah, that could be very true.
Tom Rosa he was in our camp.
Oh, okay.
For Trail Hero, his radiator fan had a non-consensual meeting with his radiator.
Yeah.
While during this week. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, it makes this nasty, soupy, greasy brown mess for sure.
Non-consensual meetings will do that sometimes.
Yes. And so, yeah, I have to dive all the way into the burr field, take the burr field out, take the axle shaft out, replace that inner axle seal. So I've done all that. But it was leaking like so much at some point that it pretty much filled all the little voids in my vented rotors with grease.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time and like clean that rotor out, and I'm going to do a complete, I'm going to change the brake pads on both sides because that side had grease all over it and wasn't really working to stop. And I just want to change both sides to be equal, to have the same thing on each side, even though the other side probably doesn't need it changed. I don't know if there's an advantage or disadvantage, but I feel that if you're changing brake pads, you probably want to change both of them at the same time, both sides. So Bobcat's has been taken apart. It's all the way back together, minus changing out the brakes and cleaning out that the disc brake on that side. So yeah, I've had a lot of people actually say that they think my axle is bent.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
Because there's Edwin 4475. He is like, I've never blown an inner axle seal.
Interesting.
And he wheels hard and he has 40s on his Toyota axles. Yeah. And there was a bunch of people like, yeah, just get the Marlin ones. And these were the Marlin ones.
Yeah, these are the Eco Seals.
Know, and I think I'm putting Eco Seals back in. And if they fail again, I think I'm just going to try OEM seals again, because I don't know if my axle is bent, that makes sense. But the Eco Seals don't really seem to be working for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I
wonder if it'd be worth getting a big bar that's the same diameter as an axle shaft.
Yeah.
And just sticking it through and see. I forget what those are called. Straightening bars?
Alignment bars?
Alignment bars. Thank you.
Yeah, you do. I think you still need to get the pucks for where the differential is.
Oh, yeah. So
or you might be able to get a carrier in there that doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah, and fully open, no spider gears at all.
Yeah, full, like all the gearing out, but the carrier in there, so you can use the center of the carrier to still slide the tube through. I don't know if you can do that. I think you just need to they make like pucks for the alignment setup.
Yeah.
I don't know. Carlos, TAC 15 might have one, but I don't. I think he bent another axle when he was assembling it, not a Toyota one. So I'll have to reach out to him. He's not too far away from us. Mm-hmm. So, so I mean, and I might use Bobcat's front axle on Samantha.
Oh, so you can do the eat knee locker kind of thing?
No, because before I was going with 4-wheel underground, I welded on a truss and ball joint stiffeners onto the axle that I was planning to use for Samantha. Mm-hmm. Well, the 4-wheel underground kit, you can't use the ball joint stiffeners that I put on there and the truss.
Okay.
So I'd have to cut those off.
Yeah.
Well, Bobcat's axle has not as nice ball joint stiffeners as the ones I put on the axle that I was going to use for Samantha. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have a truss. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to cut out less things on Bobcat's axle than I do on Samantha's axle. Yeah. So I'm considering taking it apart, taking it off, taking it apart and using it for the Samantha build.
Yeah.
So at that point, if I do get an alignment bar, I can check it.
Yeah.
Because it'll already be out. And I do have a few other front axle housings, but they all have trusses on them. And so I'm like, the least amount of cutting off that I need is the axle that's under Bobcat. The one I've been wheeling hard for multiple years. And yeah, I think is totally fine, but there's only really one way to see.
Yeah.
And that's with an alignment bar, because it could be ever so slightly ever off.
I wonder if there's a way that you could use a laser.
Probably.
Yeah, use a laser somehow. I'm trying to find a way to get a laser perfectly perpendicular in one end and then see where it comes out on the other. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way.
Yeah.
So there might be another swap thing coming up for Bobcat and Samantha. And and I've got to we were supposed to be going out on the Rubicon this last weekend in Podcast Live.
Yeah.
But now it looks like we're going to go out to Barrett. So I have to get Bobcat finished up so I can go on that trip.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like you have a whole lot to do.
No, I don't.
But
I don't. I need to put air in my rear passenger side tire. It's leaking. So I'm going to check that out because it's leaking. My guess it's leaking out of the inner axle seal somehow. So I'm going to tighten that little seal on the top up because I drilled another hole for the valve stem for the inner axle, the bead lock.
Okay.
Sorry, not inner axle, inner tire.
Okay. Gotcha.
Inner tire bead.
So you think that air is leaking through that hole? I think
air's coming out of that hole.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to have to check that because the tire's at 0 right now.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. But it's so slow. It does, like, if I pump it up, it's fine.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, for weeks.
Yeah.
And then, you leave it for a while and you go, oh, the tire's looking a little low.
Yeah.
Probably if it's aired down to like 5 PSI and we wheel all weekend, when I get out, it might be at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to concern myself up because then I air it up to 30 and I drive home and it's fine for a few days. And then you go, oh, the tire might be a little low, but then I'm not driving it. So you go, who cares? And now it's at 0.
Yep.
But yeah. So I've got to put Bobcat together. Samantha's going to be a little bit longer. Houses, we are moved and out.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
huge.
It is huge. It's a big stress. There's still a lot of like little things that I need to get done at the house. Like we didn't 100% finish the house. I have I'm scheduling a meeting with Cody Addington cool. to come over and check out the bathroom upstairs that we're going to probably pay somebody to have finished and completed. So that'll be fun. And then, so besides that, I went to the Cal 4-Wheel Show and Shine.
Yeah. How was that?
It was fun. It was, I still
have not been to that event.
It's a fun little event. This year though, I don't know what was going on, but I think the attendance was down by half.
Really?
Yeah. There was
Trail Hero.
I think
Trail Hero was going on. That'd be my guess.
It could be. Or something else. I don't know. Maybe, it could very well be Trail Hero.
Yeah.
But there was a whole, like, they stage it at Dry Diggings Distillery, up in El Dorado Hills. And there's like a fairly decent sized building there. And then there's like an alleyway behind the building. And then there's an exact copy of that building on the other side of the alleyway. And then there's a decent sized little parking lot back there. Last year, the front of Dry Diggings all the way around the building, the alleyways left for food trucks and the ramp from Metal Cloak, or the trailer from CTI trailer from Metal Cloak is in that alleyway. And then the parking lot on the whole other side of the building, it was all full. And they do like an actual car show where they look at like different, like old school Toyotas, new school Toyotas, Jeeps, like listener's choice, other, all these review like things. And I think they hand out or give rewards for them. There's also a big raffle for Cal 4 and stuff. But last year, that whole back parking lot was full. This year, there was like 2 cars in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I really do think that the attendance was like half as much as it was last year. It's still a fun event. Silly, stupid California rules about drinking at a distillery.
Yeah.
Right? You're only allowed
to say about drinking and driving.
Well, that too. Which makes sense. I think it's an okay rule, especially for a car show at a distillery.
Yeah.
But in California, at least, you're only allowed at a distillery. You're only allowed to have 1.5 ounces of alcohol.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So they do a flight, like they make a bunch of whiskeys and bourbons and ryes. And so they do a whiskey flight tasting where they have 6 different types of whiskeys, ryes, bourbons, but they're only pouring you a 1/4 ounce at a time.
Yeah.
So that you can get 6 different tastings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they have a vodka gin version as well. So it's fun. You can go in there and you can mix and match or choose one or the other. They also make a few different types of drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get they can pour that 1.5 ounces directly into a drink and you can have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And you're only allowed to buy 3 bottles of alcohol.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you're not from California, like if Jason came down with his Nevada residence license, he could buy as much alcohol in that place as he wanted.
What?
So because you're a California resident,
it's not an alcohol permit. Well, it might be part of the alcohol permit thing, but like it's not tied to the place of sale.
No, it's
tied to where the person lives. What?
Yeah.
That's
so if Jason came down, he could buy as many bottles as he wanted.
Do they check your driver's license or something for your address?
They type it in. Yeah, when you buy the alcohol. So I had so I bought 4 bottles of alcohol.
Okay. You bought 4.
I did.
Is that because you have 2 houses?
No. Oh. That'd be funny though. Doreen.
Okay.
Was there and she didn't want any bottles.
Okay.
So I had her get me a bottle.
Yeah.
And then I bought her bottle.
That's what's so like, there's some rules that I agree with in California, right?
Yeah.
There's some things that I think for society to get along in as dense of a population that we have, there's some good rules out there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some rules that California comes up with that you're just like, it's so easy to get around them. Why even have the rule? Like, what you guys are leaving these massive loopholes here. There's no point in even having this rule.
Right. And to some extent, like if the assistant was there, she could have bought 3 bottles.
Right.
And then I could have bought 3 bottles and the family would have had 6 bottles.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think that matters to them.
Yeah.
Right. But I couldn't buy 4 bottles.
Yeah. Which
it's silly.
Anyways.
Yeah. And I know that. So that's where I saw Sarah and Ryan. They were up at the show and shine. They bought more than 3 bottles because there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
right,
it's just this.
I don't know.
It's just a stupid thing. You know, you're only at a distillery. You're only allowed to have 1.5 ounces of alcohol, and they're only allowed to sell you 3 bottles.
How many? So if you're doing 1.5 ounces of alcohol at 55%, you're getting 3/4 of an ounce of alcohol, right? Of pure alcohol.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder how much you're allowed to have at a brewery.
As much as you want.
As much as you want. And how many ounces does that actually add? Like how?
I don't know. I was going to try to relate it to the Coors Light can here.
Right. So the Coors Light is 5%.
More or less 5%, and it's 12 ounces.
And 12 ounces. So I don't even know that math.
What is 12% of 5? Or what is
5% of 12 ounces?
Yeah, that's what I meant. So that's 0.6 of an ounce.
0.6 of 1 ounce.
Yeah. So that
doesn't make sense. 0.6 or 0.06?
It says 0.6.
0.6 of 1 ounce is in there. And if you're having 1.5 ounces of liquor at 55%.
Yeah. Most of them are 80 or 90 proof.
Oh, okay.
Proof? Yeah.
80 or 90 proof is about 45%.
45%. So 50.
So say 50%. That means 0.75.
3/4 of a shot.
3/4 of a shot is alcohol and a shot is 1 ounce. I mean, if you're doing 1.5 ounces as total liquor, so you're having just about as much liquor in as alcohol in 1 can of Coors Light as you are getting in a flight.
1.5 ounces. Yeah,
a flight at a distillery.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's Coors Light.
Yeah.
Like, what if I go have a double IPA?
Right? That's 10%
that's
or 9%.
10%, and they pour it in a 16-ounce glass.
Yeah.
Your one beer at a brewery could be double what I'm allowed to have at a distillery.
That's just crazy to me.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
Did anybody do the math on that?
I don't know. It's like, rule? I don't know. I think they're just concerned about, I'm not sure. Yeah, they're concerned about drunk drivers from a hard alcohol standpoint, but you can go to a brewery or you can go to a winery.
Yeah, or wineries are 14.5%.
Well, yeah, you could. How many bottles are you allowed to sit down and drink at a winery?
As much as you want.
As much as you want. But you can't go to a distillery. They won't let you. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's stupid.
Anyways.
But it's a fun time. If you've never been to Dry Diggins, it's a fantastic spot.
I've never been to Dry Diggins while they've been open. So I've been in the parking lot. I've never been inside though, and got to go check it out. So
they're pretty cool. Yeah. They're fun people. Mm-hmm. They make some great whiskeys. They're the ones that make the Rubicon whiskey. Typically they make a Rubicon rye.
Yeah.
And that's what
the one I like.
That they've been making that for a really long time. They've now came out with a Rubicon bourbon.
Ah,
and so I got that.
Okay.
Because I already have the rye. So I got their bourbon. I got one of their Bodies. It's kind of their version of a single malt. And I'm not a Scotch fan, but I like that one. Okay. It's a really good. And then I got 2 bottles of their botanical gin, which is more or less, it's like a tea flavor, teed, like themed gin.
Okay.
And I hate gin, but the assistant loves it. And she had, and Rooibos. Can't say the word. Rooibos tea. Rooibos. Rooibos is, I think it's like a flower. Okay. It's a type of, and that they make teas out of it. And one of her best friends really likes Rooibos tea. Okay. And she gave her a sample of this gin and she just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So I got 2 bottles of that. One's for the assistant and one's for her friend.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So those are the 4 bottles I got.
So 3 of them were only for you.
2 of them were for me.
2 of, I mean,
2 of the 4.
You get to have the assistant's one though as well.
True.
So
yeah,
but not the friend. So
no,
you can't even say, oh, I'm just getting it for somebody else.
No,
but somebody else can get it for you.
Yeah.
But somebody else can get it for you. And then
yeah. They didn't sell it to me.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't want to get them in trouble, so we're gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Fair. Anyway, silly California.
Silly California. The event was fun. Saw John Arns. Oh, cool. Saw not Rodney.
I thought he was in Moab right now.
No, he was. Well, he might be now, but he was there on Saturday. What's the other dorky ham radio guy that I drove down on at
Randy?
Randy saw Randy there. Sorry, Randy.
No, he's not.
No, not. You are a dork.
He knows it.
I was hanging out with MF or Ryan for a little while.
Nice.
And that's where Wayne from Mad Hatters, I was hanging out with John Allen, Renee. Wayne walked up. He's the guy with the Bronco, right? The old rusty Bronco, red rusty
Craig.
color. Craig.
Yeah.
That's who it was. Not Wayne, Craig. Craig came up and Craig was talking about how glue treads don't work because that's what Jason said from his podcast. That's what we were talking about last podcast. Somebody said it. So it was Craig.
I can guarantee you I have I've repaired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my own tires with glue treads and got off the trail. And I've repaired 2 other people's tires in the field and gotten them off the trail with glue treads. Yeah. So they definitely work.
Yeah. And we'll go with Jason got off the trail with, I believe, using the glue treads. Yeah. It just took them once or twice to air up.
Yeah.
It was leaking. And so they but they still got off the trail, which you couldn't do
with a whole new tire. Yeah.
So,
all right, whatever.
Anyways. Yeah. So I told Craig more or less that I was like, I didn't talk to Jason, but my understanding is they didn't prep it properly. And this really comes down 100% to prepping the tire and following the instructions on the glue. More glue is not more better. And I don't know what they did, but to me, my guess is they didn't prep it properly. Yeah.
Another big thing about glue tread, they're redoing the instructions right now.
Oh, good.
So I talked with Andy this morning about, me and Ozzy talked with him about what our recommendations would be to changes for the instructions. And the other thing is that the adhesive, the cyanoacrylate, the glue in glue treads has a shelf life.
Yes.
So I've been finding out a lot of people who bought glue treads when we first started carrying them at Morphlate, which has been about a year and a half, 2 years now. They're finding that their glue is crystallized and cured in the bottles.
Oh.
Before they got to use it.
Interesting.
2 years, a year and a half, 2 years later.
That's probably my case.
That's probably your case. Oh my God, Glenn Plake. Because I had used up all my glue on the trailer wheels. Yeah. He gave me his glue tread kit and all of his bottles were completely crystallized and cured. So we gave him another kit from the Morphlate booth to replace it. But there's a shelf life on the glue in glue tread. So I would recommend people just every year at Christmas time, buy yourself another glue tread kit or have your significant other buy one.
Andy, if you're listening, you should just sell glue.
He does.
Okay.
And he has 3 packs, 3 bottles that he sells for $6
Cool.
on the Glue Trade website.
there
And
you
we're
go.
going to, on our next Glue Trade order, we're ordering a shit ton of those as well for people to reload their glue.
Perfect.
So $6 once a year and you reload your glue. Everything else in that pack is good to go.
Yeah. The
So-
rubber is not going to go bad unless
No.
it, for some reason, gets hard.
Yeah.
But
Giggity.
yeah. So that's really my mouth dump. What did we call it?
Verbal dump.
Verbal dump.
Your verbal dump.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of little family stuff going on, and there's still a lot of little itty bitty stuff to do. Like when I had Reese over to do the doors, he had to trim down so much around the doors to get them to fit, like just to square them up and move them where they needed to be, that he trimmed more or less all 4 edges. And, I painted them at one point.
Yeah.
And so now all the doors are up, but the edge of the doors don't have any paint on them. So I
Yeah.
need to go back and paint those. There's a windowsill I need to paint. There's one door frame trim that I need to paint downstairs, touch up paints. There's
Little
lot
things.
of little things. Eventually, I think I'm just going to walk around and pull all the blue tape off that's on the wall. Because wherever there was like a ding, we put a piece of blue tape to kind of mark it. I think I'm just going to remove them.
And see if they get noticed.
And then like whenever they get noticed, I'll go, oh, I must have missed that spot. And just put the blue tape back up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You glad the assistant doesn't listen to this podcast?
Very much. Very much.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so that'll be good. There's some small things that the assistant does not like about the new house. It's just different. There's a learning curve when you're moving somewhere new. For me, I've known this house forever. And it's funny because now as an adult and having to do a lot of the stuff more myself in the house, when I was younger, it's like I didn't need to do the dishes every day. I didn't need to, do laundry or, as all the time like we do, with the family. And there's, the stove just doesn't seem to heat up very quickly. It's a propane stove and it works totally fine. It just isn't as fast as what we were used to at the other house, which was just
Usually
an electric stove.
Oh, interesting. Usually propane, I in my experience, propane heats up quicker.
I really do think that the grates are too high and they
that
should
could
be a little lower.
We have a grinder. We have a 4.5 inch
I know,
grinder.
but then at some point I'm going to want them higher again to like, how do I, it's like if I want something to simmer, I'm going to have to put both grates on top of each other at that point. The fridge, it was funny because so I fucked up and I turned that like the whole entire house off.
Okay.
And I didn't open the fridge. The fridge got super moldy on the inside.
No.
And the assistant, bless her heart, cleaned that entire fridge.
Oh no.
But I think like some mold or something kind of got into the ice maker. And so the ice maker for a long time was popping out ice that just looked bad and tasted bad.
Okay.
And so we dumped out like 4 or 5 trays of like ice out of the little cubby thing. And now they're finally coming around and tasting better. So, there's just that, like the fridge doesn't have a water dispenser or an ice dispenser. So it's just like a little inconvenience there, but it's not, there is a filtered water thing at the sink in the kitchen. And so I think my parents would get ice from the freezer and then just walk over to the sink. But, we're used to it being in one spot.
Yep.
It's just one little thing like that. The door and the dishwasher.
Will say I can't go back to a non-ice water fridge combo, like a dispenser fridge.
It's nice.
I had one and then I didn't have one and I hated life.
Yeah.
I was like, this is stupid. Why is this of all things bugging me?
Right.
I was like, fuck it. I just don't. I'm just going to get a dispenser fridge from here on out.
Yeah. And fridges in the scheme of things aren't that expensive.
No, when you're looking
so
at the house stuff.
eventually we might just be like, we're going to get another fridge.
Yeah.
Because there is water hookups there. It just doesn't have that feature.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is because they had there's a filter system at the sink.
Yeah.
And it's not that far apart.
Yeah.
But it's just,
it's like people
now I have to open the door and grab the ice with my hand instead of stick a cup in there.
It's like people airing up and down their tires one at a time.
Yeah, it's so weird. Why would anybody do that?
I don't know. You never know what you don't know until you go with something else and you're like, oh my God, I can never go back to
And some
walking 5 feet to put water in my ice. Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah. And I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to speak too much ill of my wife, but She was like,
don't do it, Jimmy.
She was super excited about a laundry room.
Uh-huh.
And then we put our washer and dryer in there and she goes, this laundry room's kind of small. Like, we can move them out to the fridge or out to the garage. I mean, we can move it and the fridge out to the garage. And she's like, no, I want a laundry room. I'm like, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too right now. We can't remodel the house like just to make the laundry room larger.
Tear down a wall. And
it's like, sorry. The gripe is, the way it works is that, when the dryer door is open, which flops down, it almost fills that room, and there's not a whole lot of room to get around to throw stuff into our front loading washing machine or vice versa. So we do have the front loader furthest in the corner so that when it opens up into the corner. So then the dryer's next. So you can kind of move from one to the other, but there isn't a lot of room in there, but she's excited that there's something in a washer and dryer in the house and they have a laundry room.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't get it. Personally, I don't get it. And I don't want to go off on a rant right now because I know we're running a little long, but it's louder in the house.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, yours is upstairs.
Mine's upstairs.
That's nice. Except for carrying it up and downstairs.
Well, except that none of the bedrooms are upstairs. I mean, sorry, none of the bedrooms are downstairs. So all the bedrooms are upstairs. So laundry never really goes up and down the stairs.
Right. That's what's nice. Yeah. Like our laundry room is downstairs. All the bedrooms are upstairs.
Yeah, yours opposite.
The mini assistant was carrying our laundry hamper down the stairs the other day and was like, went down, put the laundry hamper on the stairs, like 2 stairs down, and then walked around the laundry hamper and then was doing this like leapfrog thing down the stairs because it was too heavy for her to carry it down.
We have Sawzalls. We can.
Oh, we're talking about making a laundry chute.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Good.
We already have the stuff we put in the laundry room. We specifically didn't fill a cabinet, one whole cabinet.
Yeah.
So that depending on where something falls, we have a blank cabinet to catch the laundry. So it'll all just fall into the cabinet
and then open the cabinet
and just dump everything down into the washing machine.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're thinking ahead on that one. But still, I think it would be funny because now the mini assistant's going to walk down the hallway with her laundry hamper and just like dump it down our laundry chute.
Uh-huh.
But still, the assistant's going to complain about the laundry room.
The size of the laundry room.
Yeah. I'm just like, whatever. So at some point, I'm like, I think I was like, we can go back to Roseville. We can cancel. We don't have to stay here.
Uh-huh.
She's like, no. The house is huge, though. Like all the stuff we brought in, there's like 3 or 4 open shelves in the kitchen still.
Doubled 2.5 times your floor space?
Almost doubled. I think we went 1,300 to like 2,300 or 2,500.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like whole shelving cabinets that are completely open.
Yep.
Like we moved all of the assistant's books over to this one bookcase and there's still like 3 or 4 like shelves in that thing completely open. And there's a whole bunch. And that was another reason. I'm like, why are we throwing anything away? We got a whole house. We can figure somewhere out to put it. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I'm building my office. I'm trying to figure it out, laying it out right. I don't know if you heard it on the Banff episode at the very beginning. I was like, so here I am in my master closet because I tried to record in my office and it's super echoey. So I have to figure that out.
Nice.
So I'm going to have to put some rugs in and some wall soundboards or something in that place if I ever do some recordings there or voiceovers. I'm going to do voiceovers eventually. So I have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
So still a lot of little things to do, but we're happy.
Cool.
We're happy we're in.
Good.
It's nice to have a little bit of land and have a big house and have a higher PG&E bill and
yay,
pay more for internet and all the above.
Yeah.
So
quality of life should be a lot better though. So
yeah, it is. I'll tell you, it's really nice. So I used to walk the mini assistant to school and then I drive to the shop and I work and then I drive home and then I'd be home the rest of the day. Now I drive the mini assistant to school. I drive home and then I never need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can walk to the house, walk to the shop. I do all my, I can do everything there. I just wait for the people to come home.
Yeah.
And then I had to cook dinner or do whatever. But so that is nice. Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Congrats on the house.
Thank you.
Congrats on figuring out Bobcat, hopefully getting a new seal in there and having fun out at dry diggins and all the fun stuff you've been up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good mouth dump.
Verbal
whatever.
dump.
Verbal dump.
That was a good verbal dump from you, man.
Yeah, we've had a few good episodes of verbal dumps. Thursday's episode will probably be covering our trip out to Barrett.
Yep.
And some
Monday
more
will be gift boxes probably. So
yeah, that could be.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've got some fun episodes ahead.
So if you guys will have any feedback for us or have some ideas of stuff you want to hear about, just write them in, call them in. We got the voicemail 916-345-4744. Complaint line is 408-800-5169. If you don't like anything we're doing, please call into the complaint line and let us know what you'd like to see changed. Let's see. We got emails. You guys know what those are. We got the Instagrams, Snail Trail 4x4 and 4x4 Twitter Tyler, and irate 4x4. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. We're going to be opening up in one way or another extra ways to donate to off-road trail advocacy organizations over at irate 4x4. So once we get all those details worked out, we'd love to see people stepping up and helping towards the cause, towards the fight for what's to come and what Blue Ribbon Coalition is doing and a bunch of other trail advocacy organizations moving forward to help fight all the shit going on. So keep an eye out for that. We'll let you guys know when that's there. So keep your ear holes open as well. Patreon should be closed, I believe, by the time this episode airs. Maybe we'll see. So you guys are going to be done there, and everybody should be moved over to irate 4x4. If you're moving up tiers, make sure you cancel your old one under your PayPal subscriptions. So I think that about does it. Mr. Jimothy Jet, do you have any final words for everybody out there?
Did I tell you I locked us out of the house?
You did not. I'll have to hear about that story. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay. I like jokes.
What did the snail who was riding on a turtle back say?
This is too slow.
What did a snail who was riding on the back of a turtle say?
It's too slow, or it's too fast.
Wee.
Okay.